Now, another place where you can find customer feedback is for the airlines industry. And I think it's kind of interesting because COVID has had an amazing impact on the airline industry. It has caused a decrease of three-fourths of the business. Once upon a time, airlines were full, crammed full. Today, the airlines have far less business than they once had. And so now I have to tell you, the airlines' attitude towards customers is changing and has changed. In the day and age before COVID, the airlines were in a position of handling lots and lots of customers. And quite frankly, most airlines really didn't care about their customers. They almost looked at customers as an inconvenience. Today, they're actually starting to understand that customers are where revenue comes from. And if you lose your customers, you don't have revenue. Now, you would have thought that airlines were smarter than that, but they weren't, at least not the airlines that we deal with. So airline customer feedback. So I have to tell you, where do you get airline customer feedback? It's actually easy to get. That you find that all over the internet, there are lots of different sites where you can go and find out what people are saying. So you go out to the internet and you can find lots of places where there are airline customer complaints. This is not an exclusive club. There's probably 30 or 40 different places where you can find airline comment. So what we did one day was, just for fun, we went out and gathered a bunch of comments from the internet. Oh, by the way, let me say a word about that. The internet is my favorite place to get customer sentiment. And why is the internet my favorite place? The reason why is that data that's put out on the internet has no privacy considerations. People put that information out there for the world to look at. So you don't have to worry offending somebody when it comes to looking at their data. A lot of the other data that we deal with is sensitive to a customer, and we have all kind of legal obligations related to the data, but not data coming from the internet. So, and the other thing about the internet is it's actually pretty much unbiased. People write out what happened to them and their experiences, and it's not like somebody is trying to fool you or game the system or do anything like that. So anyway, the internet is my favorite place to understand what customers are saying. So we took a lot of information about airline activity, and we created a visualization that looks like this. Again, this is one page, and it is a form of a visualization. So what we did was, first off, we said, what airlines did people write in about? And we can see a lot of people wrote about United Airlines, American Airlines. Some people wrote about U.S. Airways and Turkish Airlines and Ryanair and Frontier and Singapore and Southwest. I think at the end of the day, we had about 60 airlines that got to be mentioned. And so the first thing is, what airlines were people looking at? And here's what the airlines were looking at. Then the second thing you find in this diagram is, what were people talking about? Were they talking about the airline? Were they talking about reservations? Were they talking about baggage handling? Were they talking about the seats that they were in, the food that they were served? What were they talking about? By the way, when you stop and think about it, airlines business is a complex business because airlines have to deal with food, they have to deal with alcohol and drinks, they have to deal with reservations, they have to deal with scheduling, they have to deal with baggage. There's actually a lot that's got to be managed for an airline. And so of these things, what were people talking about? Then the second thing is, once we focused in on what they were talking about, what were they saying? Okay, one person would say, "I lost my bag in London, and that's not good." Another person would say, "The airline agent went out of his way to make sure that my bag got to me at the airport." So you get all kinds of comments about different aspects of the airline. So this is what's in this chart. Now let me tell you a little story about this chart. We put this study together for free. It was carefully researched from data from the internet. Then we got a list of the marketing managers for the different airlines. We scheduled an internet presentation, sent out notices that there's going to be a free presentation during a convenient time during the working day in which the airline can find out what is on the mind of airline passengers. And we sent out 600 invitations to all of the airlines that were in the study. And what's interesting is 2 airlines showed up, Southwest Airlines and Delta Airlines. They wanted to know what their customer and the audience they're serving was saying. But the other airlines, United Airlines, American Airlines, and those airlines didn't even bother to show up to find out what their customer was saying. And that's when we drew the conclusion that some industries really don't care about their customer. I mean, they really and truly don't care. I think if we were to do this over again, which we in fact may do, I think that the airlines have, I hope the airlines have realized they need to start paying attention to what their customers are saying. And so, and by the way, the other thing, almost all of the comments that we looked at were complaints about the airline. So another way to use this information is to determine what airlines are the most complained about airlines in the world. I think it's kind of interesting. United Airlines had more complaints about it than any other airline. Then followed by American Airlines, Delta. There's one called Etihad, I believe that's in the Mideast. Lufthansa, British Airways, Virgin Airlines, Air Canada, and so forth. So another way to use this information is what are the best airlines in the world and what are the worst airlines in the world. And so anyway, this is another usage of being able to take text and turn text into powerful information for your corporation.